right near the end of the game, the fourth official stood by the touchline. He held up the board. It said 5 minutes. The crowd sort of got, I wouldn't say lifted. In fact, I would actually say the crowd were demanding urgency. Very much saying, we've got 5 minutes. Do something now. Because they were frustrated. The crowd were frustrated. You were frustrated. I was frustrated. Because we'd offered so little during that game. Now, normally when the 5 minutes are announced or displayed or whatever the case may be, I'm there thinking, okay, that's it, we've got a chance here. On this occasion, I didn't. I just didn't think we'd score against Newcastle. And not because Newcastle have got some fantastically brilliant defence. Look, Eddie Howe, and on a depleted team, did very, very well in that game. But the West Ham of last season, or the West Ham at the start of this season, we would have ran through them. We really would have done today. But we have a group of players who are, well, they're knackered, quite frankly. It's as simple as that. And it's starting to show in performance. And we've got a massive problem now because we're really tailing off. Look, there's no point talking about transfers again. David Moyes rolled the dice, thought we'd had enough. It looks like we're not going to have enough to carry us through. Somebody made the comparison, actually, with Pochettino's Tottenham, which is starting really well, but ultimately sort of left down and peter off at the end because they've not got the squad depth. Anyway, I really want to focus on the creativity in this video and the lack of guile and the lack of craft, because I didn't feel that we would ever really open them up. There's so much to discuss in this. Okay, let's start. Fornals starts off at left wing and Benrahma's in the middle. Fornals can't play left wing. He's there to protect Cresswell. Why are we protecting Cresswell in this game? I just don't get it. Why aren't we going for it? The fact of the matter is we don't have an effective left winger at the club. We just don't. Fornals can't dribble. He's too slow. He can't cross. I mean, he offered nothing from there. I think he tried 4 dummies. I don't know what he was doing today. With 4 dummies, 3 of them went to Newcastle. He just stepped over the ball, allowed it to roll between his feet. One of them worked. Not the biggest problem within the game, but when you collectively add it to what was going on with an attack that wasn't functioning, it ain't particularly helpful. Right near the end, Jarrod Bowen was hacked down. Now, Bowen, it was Burn, and it was a foul, by the way, and Burn got a yellow card. And what happened was, Bowen jumped up, he was angered, he squared up to Burn, he was feisty, he was up for the fight. But it wasn't really about the tackle. I felt it was just his frustrations boiling over, absolutely boiling over, because he had a lack of service. You've got this one brilliant player who's really in form, and the other players around charged with supplementing and helping him in the attack. I've got to say, we're useless. Antonio was a little bit better. Won the free kick for the goal that Cresswell swung over with his free kick. But by and large, we're looking at the shadow of a player. But I don't feel he was the worst culprit, because I really do think Fornals and Benrahma were terrible. And I mean terrible. Benrahma's got a massive problem. I did a video the other day saying that he was being played out of position and he needed to be deployed. He needs to make the best of it. I gave him all the excuses in the world. I said he's been played out of position, and I meant the left-hand side. Moyes is not really going to play him centrally where he can do some damage and do something, where he can dribble past players and score goals or whatever the case may be. He's been played out on the left. But I said he has to do better. Well, in this game, it was Fornals on the left to start with. It was Benrahma in the middle. And I thought it was a really poor performance. And Benrahma's giving him... I'll tell you now, Benrahma, if we get any offer, we won't get our money back on him, but if we get any offer, Moyes will have him gone. Because it was only 2 games ago when Benrahma was substituted, and I even spoke about it on this channel. David Moyes was screaming at him, hurry up, run off the pitch. Moyes was saying, we need this game. You could actually see him, you could lip read Moyes saying, we need this game. Today he did it when he's shouting that, Benrahma's walking off the pitch, shoulders hunched. And then they had an exchange of words. Benrahma and Moyes gobbing off at each other. That ain't good. That is not good. I know what the cliche will be. I know what the cliche will be. You don't want players to be happy that are substituted. That's perfectly normal. I'm telling you now, he ain't having any of it. But in this game, Benrahma was given the freedom of the park, and I thought by and large, by the way, there was space for him to operate in, because I thought Willock and Joe Linton, we'll get onto them when we talk about Souček, but which is a different thing, by the way. Please don't think I'm I'm just digging out Benrahma and Fornals here. Souček gets his very own video. But I did think there was space there. Yes, Shelvey was operating a little bit in that area, but there was space. And if what we're saying is that Benrahma can't dribble around John Joe Shelvey, then we really do have problems. And then what you had was Benrahma then moved later on. They swapped positions. Moyes was trying to find a way through, so he swapped Benrahma with Fornals. Now, to put it into context here, well, Fornals couldn't do anything up against Kraft. That's their third choice right back. Trippier's out, Manquilo's out. I probably said that wrong. You know what I mean. And Kraft's in there. A third choice centre-back. Basically a centre-back, not centre-back, a right-back who's been playing when he has been playing as someone that couldn't even get into a relegation team at some points. Okay, so you think Fornals, can he do something against him? No. Well, okay. Fornals gets moved in field. Didn't do any better when he gets moved in field. And then Benrahma gets put on the left. Can he do anything against him? No. And I really felt Benrahma had more quality. I felt Benrahma did 2 good passes in this game. It ain't enough, by the way. He did 2 good passes in this game, which I thought Fornals basically didn't do any. But Fornals was battling and trying hard. Fornals just too slow and doesn't have the passing quality. Benrahma, I didn't feel he got involved. I think there were a couple of times where he could have done a crunching tackle, wasn't interested, just sort of stepped back. Sometimes did hard. There was a point earlier in the first half when Antonio was shouting at him to complete the press. He sort of ran towards one of the centre halves as if he was going to press him, then sort of stood off a bit. And Antonio shouted on him, basically saying, "We both have to go. We both have to do this." I'm telling you, stuff like that will just infuriate Moyes. I'm not hanging this all on Fornals and Benrahma, by the way. I'm just trying to highlight that when it came to the crunch, we weren't ever going to score a goal. I didn't feel we were. Benrahma had gone off at that point, and then Vlasic would come on. He'd done no better either. Runs around a lot, but none of them, and I don't mean any of them, and these are all players, so we had 3 different players played on the left wing today. Not one of them looked like they could dribble past a couple of players and put a crossover. And I'm sorry, I don't care whether... And I know what happens every time I speak about Benrahma. Someone says, "Oh, you're harsh. I don't care. I really don't care. You can't tell me that any one of those 3 players was actually able to do what I said. Dribble past a couple of players, put the crossover. That's what you got to do. They couldn't do it. I tell you what, not one of those 3 wingers looked better than Jacob Murphy. Honestly, it's an embarrassment. It is an absolute embarrassment. I think a lot of it is fatigue. An awful lot of it is fatigue. I think we're asking too much. We're asking Declan Rice to do everything. He can't do everything. He looked tired in this game. We'll get to that, as I say, separate thing. As for Antonio, oh my words. I don't know if you saw it at the end. The ball came over and he tried to chest it. It sort of missed and it trickled out for a throw-in. Tried his hardest. His hardest ain't good enough. Not at the moment, I'm afraid, because he doesn't have the energy, doesn't have the vibrancy. He's bang out of form. And Antonio's out of form. Benrahma's out of form. Fornals is out of form. And poor old Jared Bowen's there, the only one with any form whatsoever, is there looking around, getting frustrated, basically starting fisticuffs, saying, "Who's going to help me here? Who is going to help me?" There was no one to help him. We really missed Lanzini. Don't bother talking about it anymore. Our passing was bad. I remember looking at one point, well into the game, by the way. Well into the game. Not after 5 minutes or anything. Well into the game, our passing was 67%. That was about right. Now, listen, the conditions were not good. But they were bad for both teams. It's really hard. We've not got it's not the hardest of runs coming up, but I'll tell you what, if we can't beat Leicester, we can't beat Newcastle. And this is Leicester who were, let's be fair, thumped by Nottingham Forest, given a right old hiding. And Newcastle, who were completely disrupted their travel. They meant to fly down, had to get the coach. I think it was 8 hours travelling. Trippier got injured, so Maximum, they missed him as well. Manquillo, as I've said. This was a team decimated by injury. The advantage all should have been with us. They looked fresh. You wouldn't have thought they were stuck on a coach. It looked like us that looked like we've been stuck on a coach for 10 days doing laps around the M25 because we are just so knackered. And I'm afraid that is on Moyes. That is on Moyes because he's decided that he can carry on and he can get the best out of this bunch. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's right. Maybe we'll have an upturn. But at the moment, it doesn't look like it. Maybe he has already got the best out of this bunch. And maybe that's just it. They're just flatlining now because there's nothing left to give from them. And he hasn't really got any answers. We looked at the bench, but it's not really good enough. It's not really, it can impact it. I'm not saying Benrahma is useless, by the way. Benrahma's looked okay when he's come off the bench. He's probably looked the best player when he's come off the bench. But you know, that's not good enough for us at the moment. He wasn't able to impact it today. I found it quite hard watching, painful actually, watching Fornals today. Really painful, and watching him struggle. And so many of the Newcastle players were better than ours. As I say, we'll get on to Souček. Sorry. Well, I'll do that in a separate video. I'll pop that up tomorrow because it's been going on for 10 minutes anyway. And no sponsorship on this. No football or Manscaped or anything else. Be embarrassed to sponsor this. Bad performance, really bad performance. I would say I'd love to hear what Moyes has got to say. I don't care. I don't care. That was really bad. I think the thing is, when your defence is doing badly, you can organise things. You can organise things. You can work on it on the training ground. Shut up shop a little bit. Devise some tactics. When your attack can't create, when you can't pass, when you can't dribble, when you can't shoot accurately, then you've got a problem. I'm not sure he's going to turn it round. What it needs more than anything is a player. And it's funny, maybe we would have been in this position last season if Lingard hadn't come in, but Lingard did come in. He gave us a little injection, made our attacking play a little bit more vibrant, and took the reliance away from some of those other players. Not just a bad day at the office. I'm a little bit worried. We're not getting relegated. I was going to say we're worried for now until the end of the season. But we ain't getting top four. We're just not good enough. It's as simple as that. And it's a real shame because I just think the opportunity was there, and it's an opportunity that's been squandered. What we need to do now is Moyes needs to find some answers so as he can address this before the knockout stages in Europe. Otherwise, we'll be going out straight away then. We need to look at it. I know Moyes will look and he will say scoring goals. I've looked at the stats. We're fourth in the Premier League for scoring goals. A lot of that is based on what happened earlier on in the season. At the moment, you're relying on a header from a centre-back. Because actually, the centre-forward and the attacking midfielders, Bowen aside, I'll leave Bowen out of this, but actually, the fact of the matter is, Antonio, Benrahma and Fornals, none of them look like they can score. And I'll tell you what, someone who had double figures for us last season, we'll talk about in the next video, is Thomas Souček. He don't look like he can score either.